Welcome to the Yoshi Football Show. This is John Johnston, founder of CornNation.com. We're here with Yoshi Hardrick, former Husker offensive lineman and current Canadian Football League star. I almost said NFL.
Man, I wish.
Because, well, the NFL. I know that I said we'd do a year in review, but now that I said that, I mean the NFL just got over.
I know.
Did you watch a lot of NFL stuff?
Yeah, I didn't have a season this year, so I actually got a chance to pay attention to it, and it's all I followed on social media. So it's been like I was in a college or a kid again, just watching all the Sports Center for the highlights. Like, you don't get that time when you're playing pro sports. Like, you barely get a chance to see the highlights of yourself in the Canadian highlights. You're watching so much film. You're so busy. So now I've been on NFL Network 24/7. I follow all the NFL sites. I usually unfollow them during my season so I can focus on my season and focus on what's going on in my league. So it's been good. I'm like a kid again, man. I know the backups. I'm trying to keep up with yardage and stuff again, man. So I love it.
So Ndamukong Suh, Lavonte David, and Khalil Davis got rings. But Tom Brady got another ring too. What do you think of that? Is it a good trade-off, or are you a Tom Brady fan?
I'm both. I'm a fan of the Huskers winning. You know, Lavonte David, we went to junior college together. We came to Nebraska together. Right. So that bond is different. I texted him as soon as he won, and I got a text back early while he was still in the locker room, and this was still the same love. So happy for the other two guys also. But a huge Tom Brady fan. I'll never forget my first preseason game in the NFL. My wife was actually at the game. She had good seats. She just texted me. I remember checking my phone. She said, "I seen Tom Brady's face." And I was just like, yeah, I'm on the sideline. I'm the same way every time he comes on the field. It was just like, I couldn't even believe I was in a Buccaneers uniform because I didn't play that game. I was still on the sideline. Just seeing him out there, seeing it live, I don't know. It's one of my football highs.
Did you see the statistic where David had played like almost 10,000 plays and only had like 9 penalties?
I did. That's I don't know. That's just remarkable to be out there that many times and not just accidentally playing too hard, like grab someone's face mask, hold some. He's encouraged a lot. It's impossible to let a guy come in front of you and shake without hitting them sometime or grabbing them. Like, you're making 140, 150 tackles a season. Like, you're in a lot of action for. That's a great stat.
Does that mean he's not mean enough?
Oh no, Lavonte is a silent assassin. What I say, he won't say a lot. He won't speak a lot in a team meeting. He won't say a lot before the games. And over and over and over, the announcer said, "Lavonte Davis on the tackle. Lavonte Davis." It's just over and over. You don't get enough of it. Wow.
Well, it wasn't that great a game. I was kind of disappointed in the game, but I was happy for the Husker guys. You know, especially Suh. You know David personally. I guess Suh, you kind of look at. He went to the NFL and became the bad guy, for a lot of people. And it was nice to see him get a ring. And okay, that's enough NFL.
All right.
We took a layoff for a bit. You had some things going on. I had some things going on. And we never did a Husker year-end review. So let's do a Husker year-end review. And I'll start with this question. What did you see overall on the 2020 Husker football season that bothered you like the most?
Bothered me the most. Just from being an old lineman and being a fan of football and a fan of running, like a running coordinator or anything that has to do with a run game. I just didn't like I had wrote down. It was a lot of lateral runs in my case. Like, we got outside, we did great sometimes, but it's just too many plays in my mind that I can remember that they just scratched us long, sometimes lost, sometimes a gain of 0, and just put you in a bad situation when we wasn't passing that great. So I didn't like how much we ran lateral. I didn't like the quarterback draws as much as we did. We did have success in it. I'm not going to take that away. We had a lot of success with the quarterback draw out of shotgun. It just for me, this is my. I don't know the coach or anything. It just didn't sit well with me. It bothered me. Not enough shots downfield, but I do remember one game that we took shots downfield. we didn't catch him and things like that. And the DBs that was often so far off in coverage. Like we talked about that one game that came up, but just for me, the big picture, I saw more off coverage, deep coverage in the season than I saw tight. And there's nothing against the DBs. I just think there was a line 10 to 15 yard back. I'm not taking anything away from any player. I'm just thinking what I saw that I didn't like. And at times, you know, the snap gave us a game or two, but it wasn't a big issue that you hear about and see on social media. Snaps wasn't that big of a problem, but it was just one or two games that it was a big black eye.
Well, conversely, what did you see that gave you hope for the next season or for the few seasons coming up?
Because I went to Huskers.com and I started going down the list, and how many returners did I see that made me I just started smiling. I don't know stats. I don't know anything. I was going down the roster. I saw Cam Britt still coming back. I saw Will Honus. I saw Deontay Williams. I saw Dismuke. I saw JoJo. I saw Ben Steele, Casey Rogers, Tyrod. Like going down the roster, these are names that I'm still seeing on the 2021 roster. And it just made me smile. And, you know, we had a young team that flashed at times that I thought and showed some potential. If, you know, we're still talking about potential if we can get it together. But I just think, man, we can lean on this defense a lot, man. And, you know, Martinez is coming back, and I just don't know what we're going to do at running back, though. Like, we lost what, three of our top four rushers.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, the guys you named is all coming back are on the defense. Luke McCaffrey went away. Wandale transferred back to his home state of Kentucky. You know, those guys are on the offensive side of the ball. Do you think that points to a problem on the offense? Or do you just think that there's too many guys on offense, or were the transfers not that big a deal? Or
when I was looking at what happened with the transfer, I thought I saw Wandale on ESPN that was in quotes. He wanted to be closer to his mom. And Luke, I can't find anything of why he transferred. But when you think about it, there's only one ball on offense. There's only one ball. And, it's only one ball, and that can come down to I think McCaffrey probably wants to play. I don't know for sure, but Martinez is coming back. I don't know. He has 20-plus starts here. He probably going to have the upper hand on the job again. And McCaffrey probably he's ready to shine. He's ready for his chance. I don't blame him for that. It was a little different when I was here, but I do remember Cody Green doing the same thing. So I can't say that much. So Cody Green did the same thing. He got his chances. He did good. He did some bad, but Taylor Martinez was coming back. That's what Taylor Martinez was coming back, and Cody Green, I forgot where he went, but that's what.
Did he go to Oklahoma State? I thought he went to either Oklahoma State or.
I thought he went to Baylor.
Baylor? Okay.
Was it Baylor? I don't know. I thought it was Baylor. I don't know. He went somewhere, and that's what this case reminds me of. A guy wanting to play, and a guy know he can play somewhere. Like, it's a lot of D1 schools out here, so he's just betting on himself, and I like it. Well, I don't like that he's transferring, but I like that he has the confidence to bet on himself.
So there's no transfer portal when you were in school. And
no.
the last that I checked, I think I sent you something that there were 1,100 players. There's like 1,500 players in the transfer portal. So I guess the question is do you think this had been different for you if there was a transfer portal back when you played? No, because I remember my junior year at Nebraska, and I came here from junior college, and I thought I was the next best thing since sliced bread. And I saw it on that bench. And the only thing in my mind was it is a privilege to play at Nebraska. A lot of guys I went to school ended up at smaller schools. I'm from Mississippi. They went to the Southern Misses, the Southern Alabamas. Like, when I went home, Nebraska was looked at like it was looked at here. Like, you go to Nebraska, like, go back and work hard, go earn your spot. And my entire time, like, I kept getting a little bit more playing time. And it sucks. Jeremiah got hurt in the spring, and we was competing. And he missed that spring, and I got the upper hand, and I ended up playing my senior year. But it never crossed my mind that I was leaving because it just never crossed my mind. I actually get another year with Coach Dobson. Like, I actually get a chance to live in Nebraska again. Like, I actually get a chance to, like, come out there. It was a lot different for me, just from my understanding. Like,
I almost get emotional thinking about like I don't know, that would have hurt me thinking about leaving Nebraska. Like when I was at Nebraska, it just meant so much to me. Like when I came to Nebraska, I felt it on my visit. And when I was here, like all I wanted to do was like be like the greats that walked around. Like you see so many old linemen greats when you walk down that hall. Like I don't know, it kind of like make me chills right now. Like I wasn't leaving that. Like I don't know, it's different, maybe different now. That's just the way it was. Like when I got here, it was Ricky Henry here, Mike McNeil, Niles, Pierre Allen, Ricky Tenars, Gomes, Roy Halou, Prince, Eric Hagg. Like the culture was set. Like that's what it was. All these guys, I'm talking about NFL guys, Eric Hagg, Gomes, Roy, Prince, Niles, Ricky Henry. These are guys who, none of these guys probably started off starting. I see guys who've been seniors red shirt, guys came from JUCO like me, guys who didn't play until they was a junior or a senior. So the culture was set. You earn your spot and you work for it. And that's what I came in as a part of. Like the leaders that I just named, it was you're not gonna leave if you come in under that type culture and that type leadership. Like you just want to work hard. It just didn't. Like I think when I was at Nebraska, 2 people transferred, but I was only here 2.5 years. Cody Green and he was Robinson, a running back. Duntravius Robinson. It was him and Cody Green. But after I left, like Braylon Hurd, Breon Kearns, Chase Roan, Harvey, like Aaron Green, Tyler Moore, Todd Pete, like when I was there, they was there. But when I went back and looked at it, all those guys ended up transferring. But when I was here for 2.5 years, it was 2 guys that transferred. Like that's what it was. But Cody Green felt like he had to go play somewhere, and Trey Robinson, he was behind Roy Halou. Amir came in and got in front of him. Rex Burkhead, like it was just one of those things. He had to go find a spot to play. So the culture was a lot different, man. It was just a lot different. You didn't want to transfer.
So you said the culture was set about, 83 times there.
Yeah.
People talk a lot about culture. It's something that they throw out there. It seems like it's kind of undefined.
Okay.
Do you feel like the culture is not set at Nebraska now, or they're trying to redefine it, or they lost it, or what is going on with that part of, and what's it mean and what is going on in your estimation?
I want to take this back. I don't want to say anything. I'm not saying Nebraska culture has changed, anything like that. I maybe said that in the last 5 minutes of talking, but I just meant that's what the culture was when I was there. I'm not there. I'm not inside those walls. I don't know. I'm just a big fan who reads everything on Twitter and kind of get a little happy or a little mad about it. So I'm just one of those guys. But the culture there now, when I go there and work out and I see guys that are happy, I see guys staying after they're working out. I see guys still hanging there. I see guys putting in the extra time. I see guys that have a lot of pride in it. So I don't know if I'm not seeing the guys that are transferring, but everything I'm seeing when I go to Nebraska and work out, it makes me smile. Like I think, but right before it started snowing, I was going to run on the track again because the restrictions. I was back on the track running, and you see so many guys walking from the Hawks back to the locker room, and it was just making me so happy. I get out of my car to get to the track. You can just see the weight room just thumping with energy. So
even now, you mean?
Yeah.
Like today?
Well, it was 2 weeks ago, my last time at the stadium. So I go to the stadium and run 3 times, probably a week. Then snowed in probably the last 2 weeks. But before COVID hit, I worked out at the stadium every day, 5 days a week. So I was seeing these guys. I seen the sprint coach. I was seeing these guys put these numbers up. So when these videos was coming out, I'm headed to do my workouts. I hear these noises coming out. Like I feel that. So I can't say that the culture is a lot different. I'm just saying from when I came in, the culture was set with you earn your spot here. You might get a chance to go to the NFL. And when I got there, we had a guy go first round. We had guys went probably the 3rd round that year. We had a guy went 4th, 5th. Like it didn't stop. And it was like, okay, I trust the process. I believe the process. Like Bo talked about trust the process. You know,
we're gonna have to go into that in depth sometime. You realize that?
Yeah. Oh, it was a lifestyle. You heard process a lot. Like I probably repeat things a lot. I probably learned that from Bo, because Bo, the process, you got it here. You're gonna trust this process, and it was one of those things that stuck with me.
Okay, so what is the process then? We got two things that are really kind of like, they're like gooey, you know. They're not they're not a concrete definition. You got the culture thing, and now you got the process. What the hell is the process?
The process was win the day. The process was win everything you do. And the process was not taking the easy way and want to crawl out of workouts. And it was just a way. When I got to Nebraska, my first workout, I struggled so bad. And Rex Burkhead was like annihilating the workout. I was like, I've never seen this. Like, I don't know if I'm going to live today. And Rex Burkhead was like basically lapping me on this workout. And he told me his first day was the exact same. And it's just little things like that, man. Just for me coming in, not knowing the playbook, thought it was another foreign language, because in junior college we ran toss, sweep, and ISO. And I think my first day they got in the huddle. He said, "Bop the trip right gun, 876 something." I never forget. I said, "I got the defensive end." That's all I remember telling myself. I have the defensive end. I don't know what he just said, but I'm gonna go with I have the defensive end. So it's just me trusting like all the guys who took their time to build in and earn your spot, and just trusting the process that Nebraska, even if you don't finish this in football, you're gonna be set off in life because of great people here.
So basically, you're learning. Rex Burkhead kind of was the one that was there ahead of time and basically encouraged you that, yeah, it's going to be okay.
Yeah, and basically, and Suh used to come back and work out with us and ran conditioning with us. Like when I first got here, I was overweight. It sucked so bad, and like I can remember Suh running with us and just telling me like, "Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get up. Like you can get through this. Everybody did this. When you first get here, you're fresh out of high school, you're fresh out of junior, you don't know anything about Division I workouts. You think you're running hard, you think you're working out, and Coach Dobson, he just put it on you. Your first week there is no easing into it. You get it put on you the first week, and I just remember struggling so bad. I was like you, I'm tired of hearing this process thing. Like I'm waking up and I can barely walk, and you telling me about a process. I'm going in here reading this playbook, and I'm going on the field, and you're still telling me about a process. I don't know what's going on. And the more I was like, the more that the culture was you don't pout around here. The players tell you the truth. If you pout, the player tell you why you're not playing. Or the same reason the coaches tell you you're not playing. So it's kind of like the coach was going to tell you why you're not playing, so you're not pouting. So it's kind of like one of those things. Nobody really was saying culture around there when I was there. We heard process, but the culture just when I was there, like if you didn't like that you wasn't playing and you walked around pouting, like a player will tell you, you're out of control out there. You don't know the plays. This guy's better than you. Like I missed that honesty, and like that made me the best at Nebraska. Like Mike Caputo came and told me, like I was pouting one day. He's like, "You don't know the plays. Like what do you want?" He said, if you were a coach and you had a guy who you thought was talented, you had a guy that you thought was less talented, but you can trust one for 90% of the time, you can trust one for 60% of the time. Which guy are you taking? And it's just like, yeah, you're right. And it was just that honesty and that. I don't know. I'm going to say it. That was the culture. We told each other the truth, but I don't know. They maybe do that now. I'm not saying they don't. That's just what it was. We told each other the truth, and you wanted to earn it.
Well, and honestly, if you look at what you're saying, then there is kind of a problem in Nebraska right now, because basically what you're saying is guys that were there ahead of you were telling you this. Now, when you look at Nebraska's roster, look at the offensive line starters. For example, Turner Corcoran was like a true freshman, or everybody's freshman years are all mixed up now, right? Because of the COVID thing and eligibility.
Yeah.
There's no senior starters. There's no, Matt Farniok transferred. Will Farniok is going to the NFL. Brendan James is going to the NFL. There's the roster is very young. So there aren't those guys there that have been there for a while that to look at the younger players, because I mean, would you have listened to somebody in your own class tell you that stuff, or was it guys that were there ahead of you that were telling you this most of the time?
It was a lot of guys who were fifth-year seniors. They were like been redshirted and still they're senior now, and they're still getting looked at in the NFL, and they already have graduated. Like that's just like wow. Like, man, you got redshirted, you already graduated, you take 1 or 2 classes, and you get a chance to play college football, and scouts are looking at you. Like, it probably sucked when you got redshirted, but it doesn't suck now. Like, it was just me being a small town trailer park guy. Like I said, I'm getting chills thinking about it. It never crossed my mind. I'm about to get a degree from Nebraska. I'm actually about to play at Nebraska. Like, that was just my mindset. Like, I think I came in with a lot of guys who, when they chose Nebraska was their only big schools. Like, sometimes Bo would come get a guy, he'd be committed to West Alabama or something, but Bo saw something in it. And so it was a lot of us that came from, like, Nebraska was like, wow, we got this offer. It doesn't matter how long I've been committed somewhere. If you get an offer like Nebraska and you haven't had a Power 5, like, I was committed to LSU, but it was still like Nebraska, that's what it was. A lot of guys I talked to, they was going to not a Power 5, and Nebraska came in at the late minute. Like, so it's a big deal. The day they felt when Nebraska offered them, like, oh yeah, I'm not going that small. I'm going to Nebraska. That's the feeling I had every day in Nebraska.
Wow. Do you think that's still there? I mean, we have struggled now for 83 years. I don't know, a very long time. You know what I mean? It seems like forever since we've had winning football. I mean, it really has. I mean, do you feel like people have that same? Do we have that same response with recruits? Do you think at all?
I don't know, because when you get on Twitter, sometimes, like, the fans and everything we still have the same passionate fans, the same great fans. But when you get on Twitter, sometimes you got big people from the media now who hates on Nebraska. So you're a college kid and you on Twitter all day, you on Instagram all day. It probably looks a little different than when I was growing up. When I was coming to Nebraska, it was on TV every week because Suh. It was, and it was just like, it never was enough. Like, I was committed to LSU. I'm like, I have to watch Nebraska this week. Suh is playing, or Nebraska's on TV. Even when I was committed to LSU, like, you wanted to watch Nebraska. I don't know if it's like that or now. Like, for us, it is. As a fan, I know I don't care what the record is. I'm getting up and watching it. But I don't know for a 16, 17, 18-year-old kid who's on Twitter all day if people are just bashing Nebraska. I don't know if it had the same feel as I did. Like, Twitter wasn't that popular. Facebook was a little bit popular back when I was coming in, but you watch sports all day, and Nebraska, Suh was on TV. Nebraska was always ranked top 25. A top 25 team plays on TV.
Okay. Since we went down this road, I was going to save this for another episode, but since you're going down this road, I'm going to ask you, can there be a culture problem on the offense are the offense and defense two separate sides to the same team? Because that's the question a lot of people are asking. They look at all the players that transferred out of the offense. Clearly, there's a culture problem on the offense. The defense is fine. There's no issues over there. I mean, it would seem to me that if you had, I hate to use the word toxic, but that's the word I'll use. If you had toxic issues on an offense, wouldn't they bleed over to the defense? Or are they really separate so that they don't affect each other that much?
I don't know. That's a good question, because at the end of the day, you all have to be one heartbeat. But when it comes down between those white lines, it's almost two different teams at practice. So that's a tricky one. And I don't know. Like, some guys didn't like the style of offense probably when we was there. That's a thing you probably heard in the locker room and things like that. And if somebody don't like a style, I don't know if they can look at it as like that makes them not want to be in it or something like that. But man, that's a good question. Offense and the defense, not even jail in this thing work or something like.
Well, I mean, right now, if you look at it, the defense played. When we first looked at this team, the first year they went out, everybody looked at the defense and said, Eric Chenander is horrible. He needs to be fired. I got this question. We had those comments on our game threads on our website all the time about Eric Chenander is a terrible defensive coordinator and the offense was going to be the savior. And then you look at this last year and the defense really played actually pretty well a lot of the times, except for maybe Minnesota where we kind of went, what the hell are you doing playing all this soft zone stuff? But
you
know what? The offense couldn't score points, had turnovers, had false starts, holding, God knows what. When they should have held the guy, they let the guy go and he hits Martinez and the ball gets coughed up. So the offense struggled a lot. So, I mean, when you're on offense and your offense is struggling, do the defensive guys come over and look at you and go, what the hell are you guys doing? We're working our asses off and you guys suck. I mean,
you get a little both of that. You get a little bit, we got your back, but come on, you got to help us. You got to at least come halfway. Like, we can't do this all alone. You get the pick-me-ups and you get the, like, this is going to be a long day if you guys don't help us out. We can't play 100 plays. Like, you get the brutal honesty, too. Like, you come up like, you guys need to pick it up. This isn't good. We're not going to win this way. But like I said, man, yeah, if an offense isn't playing good, sometimes that could be a little beef. I remember when our defense was playing so good at Nebraska. I wouldn't say it was any beef or anything, but practice used to get heated. And I can remember words been saying around, yeah, you can score here, but you can't score in the game or something like that. And it made practice that much heater, but those jokes had some honesty in it. You know, sometimes when they tell you that so we kind of got the point sometimes, like you get that from the defense. I think it's just good teams trash talk, but sometimes they let you hear it a little bit more, and it's really how they really feel. So it's one of those things like I can remember we used to throw deep balls and do all that, and they be like, oh, you guys not going to do that in the games, like the friendly jokes and things. We was an option running team. That's what we did. Or we did play action, throw it deep to Kyle Reed. Like, that's what we did. So, like, I don't know. I can see it both ways.
Well, we're going to go back to the transfer portal one more time.
Okay.
1,500 players, even 1,000 kids in the transfer portal. That just seems phenomenal. If you put yourself, I mean, what's going to happen to these guys? I mean, let me phrase it this way. Let's say that Luke McCaffrey's going to find a team, but let's say Luke McCaffrey doesn't find a team and wants to come back to Nebraska. I mean, how's that look to his teammates or Matt Farniok or any other player? I mean, they go out in the transfer, but it's kind of like looking at your girlfriend and saying, yeah, I think I'm going to go out with other people. And then coming back 2 weeks later and saying, well, I didn't really find anybody that was better than you.
Right.
So
yeah, that's the thing. I don't think they don't even pride themselves on it anymore. They don't care how many schools they have to go to. They don't care the way they have to go to. I just think the success stories from people transferring and being a Heisman and transferring and being first round picks, like, it's made it possible. Like, people can do this. And yeah, I don't think it'll ever be the same, man. I don't think you'll see guys waiting 4 or 5 years to wait to play anymore. Like, the Mac Jones story is amazing. Like, everyone's a fan of Mac Jones. You know why? He waited his time. He worked. He earned it. Mac Jones probably could have went and started at any other school in the nation. If he started at Alabama, let's just be honest, he probably could have went to any other school in the nation and started. And he saw it. What was he, a redshirt senior? And those are the stories I don't think those won't come around as much anymore. And that's what I think the game, that took that away from the game. Like, the pride of the walk-on. I think even walk-ons are transferring, I saw. Like, what's going on? So the pride of walk-ons not playing 4 years straight, and he get in his 5th year and he breaks the record. Like, will we have those stories anymore?
Yeah. Wow. All right. We're going to finish this up with a question for you. I might have lost you.
Oh, I'm here.
Okay. What are you doing right now? You mentioned before we started that you're working out. You're hopeful that you're going to have a season. Describe what you do, like, to stay in shape.
To stay in shape, All right, I wake up in the morning, take the kids to school, and I go right to the gym. When I get to the gym, I do a speed and agility before I do it. My speed and agility probably takes an hour. Then I lift for an hour. Then sometimes I get my O-line work right then. So I do 3 different workouts a day. So I have a speed and agility that I have to make sure my feet are fast. Then I have to do my regular lifts. And I still do the same lift I did in Nebraska. I have my same program from when I was at Nebraska from Dobson. And I do my position work later on in the day, or because sometimes I have to go pick the kids up from school, or I just have to spend time with my wife. Like, I just can't be gone all day. It's just one of those things. So I'm working out like 3 hours, trying to get like 3 hours a day of legit work, and it's ramping up right now. You was easing into it and trying to make sure you can stay healthy and be ready for a season. Because last year, they told us we're going to play in May. They told us we're going to play in August. You had to be ready. Told us in September. Like, they finally told us at the end of September there was going to be no season. So I just had to stay ready for an entire year. I've never went through that before. It's like 6 months in the off season. You're going back in May. It was like, we're not going back in May. Okay, you're going back in June. Oh, you're not going back in June. Okay, you're going back in July. It just never stopped. But right now, it's just working out a lot 3 times a day. I'm teaching boot camp classes. I teach kid football clinics, and that just keeps me busy.
Wow. Do you enjoy this? I mean, the working out, I mean, is it something you look forward to? Or is it like, oh God, I got to go do this job?
If I'm being honest, I hate knowing that I have to go put my body through that most days, but it's a rewarding feeling when I get done. I'm like, this is the feeling I've had the last 6-7 years. That's why I'm still playing. Like, if I didn't have that feeling or that same drive or that same love, like, I'm not excited to go to the gym. I'm excited when I leave the gym. Am I going to be sweating? Am I going to be hurting? My entire, going to the gym I'm not in a happy mindset problem. But once my day is so much better once I know it's done. I know in the past years, this is what I did this day. This is how I felt this day. Like, everything is video recorded when I work out. Everything is documented. Like, I know what I hit this year, this day, this, like, that's what I look for. Once that starts declining or isn't the same, I don't know. I'll probably be calling you for a job.
Well, I'll tell you what, man, you people need to stay in some form of shape.
Right.
Because, I through the pandemic, I did pretty well when it was warm out. I started walking like 4 miles a day, which for me is, it's pretty good. I bought a mountain bike. I got on that a few miles a day. But I am, because of my heart attack, I lost all my upper body strength. I don't have hardly any of that. And, people need to, if you don't stay in shape, that's it. I don't want to get old and be like a burden to my wife.
Yeah, that's the same. Like, now that I work out, I teach these boot camp classes at 5 a.m, and it's all shapes and sizes. And I see 50-year-old and 60-year-old people who I look up to, like, they're coming there with their wives and they're working out, and that's what I want to do. Like, I think I tell myself when football's over, I'm done with the weight room, but I don't want to blow up. I don't know how this weight's going to get off me if I don't work out. But so it's one of those things that I don't look forward to, but I look forward to it. But when I see those older couples in there working out, that's what I want out of me and my wife.
Now, she was an athlete too, right?
Yeah, she ran at Nebraska, ran track.
Yeah. I will say this, my wife, she wasn't a college athlete, but she's been very health conscious. She's very fit. She looks beautiful. She's kept herself in very good shape. And it still does. It has a very good influence on me, which kind of made the heart attack thing more of a fluke. But maybe we'll go into that at a later date.
Oh yeah, we need to go on with that. That'll be a good one too. Before I met my wife, how I ate and how she ate, and the things I learned to do, and how she tricks me to eat healthy. Now, how she blend things to put in my food, and it made so much of a difference. So that's the same thing. It's a major benefit for me having a wife that is fit.
Well, maybe we'll do one about health.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to end there. This has been the Yoshi Football Show. Thanks for listening. Go Big Red. There you go.
Yeah, go Big Red.